Community engagement has been an integral part of my Rhodes University experience and my Rhodes University education. I was a little skeptical of it coming into my first year at Rhodes, as I came from a very privileged white middle class background, and the concepts of outreach and charity that I had encountered beforehand tended to have connotations of all-knowing givers coming into communities and helping agencyless victims of their circumstances. I am so grateful that community engagement has been nothing like that, and in fact it intends to do just the opposite, and it is relentless in trying to disrupt these power imbalances that don't sit quite well. I've learned through community engagement that true upliftment is not someone coming in and trying to empower others, which often doesn't work, but it's about a group of people relentlessly trying to create these mutually beneficial relationships and create these spaces where people are able to empower themselves and create their own opportunities. I have experienced this through working with Gadra as a mentor and through the 9/10 mentoring program, and it has been fantastic to see people that I had previously mentored now being students at Rhodes and mentors themselves. I have seen my role not so much as a leader of them, but as creating a space where they can become their own excellent scholars, they can become their own leaders. As a humanities student at Rhodes, community engagement is also not just something I do on the side or an extracurricular, but it is an integral part of the humanities education experience. In the classroom, as humanities students, we are confronted with questions of how to create a just society, how do we create an equal society, and we engage with these ideas and what they mean. While other students, like science students, might have practicals after class, humanities students don't necessarily have this. So I've always struggled with how do we actually practically implement these ideas that we engage with in the classroom. Community engagement has created a space that I'm able to engage with this outside of the classroom, where we're able to come into these spaces and practically see, well, how do we create more just societies, more equal societies within our own Grahamstown community, which in many ways is a microcosm for the inequality and the injustice in South Africa. So while I think the preconception of community engagement is that it's often kind of an outreach charity thing, which is kind of an extracurricular at the same time, what I've learned, which is the same about all education, is that it is lifelong. It is not something you do afterwards, after class or after work, but it's part of an education experience, it's part of your own growing experience. So for this, community engagement to me has been part of my education, and it has also been a huge part of my own growing process.